boy, we're back.
Right? It took Kanye West to go crazy and spew anti-Semitic idiocy for us to be like, we need to bring the podcast back right away.
You can't keep a good Jew down. That's what it is.
I don't know if we're the good Jews. That's being very generous, especially when it comes to Judaism. I mean, did you have a good holidays? Did you celebrate the holidays?
I did. I went to my cousin's house for the Rosh Hashanah dinner. It was very nice.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I had some brisket and.
Ooh, hey.
Oh boy, yeah.
I made some brisket myself.
You made your own brisket
in a slow cooker, and I made some matzo ball soup, and I had my own little Rosh Hashanah, and some girl was going to join me, but then, I don't know, she got stuck in Austin or whatever, so I just had it by myself.
Just by yourself?
Yeah, I had to blow my own shofar.
Nice.
Thanks.
Very nice.
Starting it off with some jokes. So anyways, yes, we've taken a hiatus. We had some creative differences. But now Jordan's pumped to do the podcast, and I'm excited.
It's been a weird couple of years, you know. I feel like there's been a lot of ups and downs, and it's been hard to figure out timing-wise. And I'm glad that we're back. I'm glad that we've gotten back together to do this.
I think that's life, is ups and downs, and yeah, timing. But here we are. We're at this really cool space that we're using right now.
In studio.
I know, right? We got a studio, worked it out, got it all for free. That's how Jewish we are.
It's a Judio, really. It's like a Jewish studio.
We're coming quick with the puns already.
Always.
And there's a Jewish history to this place too, which is pretty cool, where their Holocaust survivors started a store in the storefront that used to sell, I guess, clothing and sneakers. And now one of the grandsons, he opened a bookstore here. They have this podcast studio. It's awesome. We're here. And yeah, we're Jewish.
It is pretty amazing that this space has such a history, you know, that it is kind of in the vein of what we talk about on the show, about, you know, finding ways to create community and spread awareness about Jewish issues and find ways to connect with other Jews and have a place where you can connect with people in the neighborhood. I mean, the windows out here look right out onto the Lower East Side.
So we are looking at the street right now. Here, we can show everybody what we're seeing. That's right outside the Lower East Side, which is a very Jewish neighborhood. They still have the tenement buildings everywhere. And, you know, there's Kozar's Bialys and bagels. It's like
Russ and Daughters right down the block.
So yeah, just, you know, trying to get the camera back right again. So cool space. We're here. American Jews back. Kanye West is an idiot. I was saying that even before he started hating on the Jews. I don't think I was like part of the reason why, or I was involved. But like, it really just is stirring up all this these anti-Semitic tropes, which, by the way, have nothing to do with Israel and Palestine or anything like that. It has these other things about, you know, Jews controlling money, the media being greedy. And it's like, it's crazy to me because it's like getting mad at Jewish people for being successful. And, you know, as we'll get into it more, there are reasons why Jews got in the banking business. And it's because they were forced to by the Catholics. But
right.
I'm sure Jordan has something to say. I don't want to just go on a rant.
We do kind of go on our own rants in this on this show. I don't know. I think the Kanye thing is very disturbing, and it brings out a lot of issues that we've talked about on this show all the time, I think. And I don't know if you saw the documentary on the Holocaust that just came out on PBS, the Ken Burns documentary.
No, I did not, but it sounds like a lot of fun.
It is right in our wheelhouse. It is America and the Holocaust, and America's response to World War II and the Holocaust in particular. And I was really surprised to learn to the degree to which Americans were apprehensive about helping the Jews during World War II. It really wasn't until after Pearl Harbor and after seeing some of the atrocities firsthand that Americans got on board with helping the Jews.
I mean, it's kind of crazy because a lot, you know, people say, like, people didn't really understand and have an idea of what was happening during the Holocaust, you know? Like, people thought that, like, it wasn't, like 6 million Jews weren't being murdered. They didn't realize 11 million people in total were being murdered. Like, they didn't understand the severity of what was happening. A lot of people say, I don't know. Do you think that's true, or do you think, no, they were all just Jew haters and they didn't care?
Well, I think a lot of people didn't really know. I mean, obviously, Germany went to great lengths to try to keep people from finding out what they were doing until it got really late. And I think from watching the documentary, it was clear that America was learning things, but they didn't want to let Germany know that we knew some of these things because there was somebody in Germany in the Nazi regime that was leaking this information, and they wanted to be able to continue getting that information. But if Germany knew that we were getting it, they would have rooted out that mole and killed that person before we had got more information.
It's absolutely crazy. You know, it's crazy now. We're talking about Germany. We're talking about the Holocaust. Adidas just broke up their partnership with Kanye West. They're a German company. I'm saying when the Germans are calling you out for Jew hatred, you know you're a problem.
You know, it's crazy to read that as well, that Adidas was started in Nazi Germany, and like when the Olympics were held in Berlin during, just, you know, in the 30s, the German athletes were wearing the sneakers.
It's crazy, like how much we've progressed in the world, and still how many atrocities are still happening that are like similar to what we've experienced. But like, I think this whole Kanye West thing is bringing up like this other thing about like anti-Semitism towards Jews, and it's like acceptable to like hate on Jews for like doing well in life. I feel like, like when a Jew succeeds, first of all, we are a minority. I think there are less than 15 million Jews around the world, and it's like, but when we do well, we're condemned for it. You know, the Catholics, they didn't want them lending money to each other, so they made the Jews do it. That's like how the Jews got into like the banking industry in like the 13th century, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and now it's like we've done well with it, and like they want to condemn us. And yes, there are a lot of Jewish bankers, but that's like saying any like race, ethnicity, whatever, like has a lot of one person, so all those people are it. You know, to say like the Jews control the media, it's just wrong. It's just crazy.
You know, I mean, but you go back to World War II and that, you know, and the Holocaust, the fact that Henry Ford was a huge anti-Semite. There were a lot of anti-Semites in America that were spreading anti-Semitic propaganda, and that further, I think, alienated the Jewish people and Jewish like ideas from the American public. I think the American public was already suspicious about the Jewish people because of all of this propaganda that had been pumped out, so that when the Holocaust happened, it wasn't even a thing like, oh, we got to find out more about what's happening. And I think that you know, watching that documentary is prescient. There's a lot of stuff happening right now, I think, that is parallel to it. And this Kanye thing is kind of in that same vein. Like, he's, in my mind, the shit that he's putting out there, this kind of rhetoric is very similar to the type of anti-Jewish rhetoric that Ford and all those anti-Semites were putting out there.
I never thought about Ford, but it is a good example. Like, the two of them do have some similarities of just being like titans in industry.
Yeah.
And it is crazy. You know, I don't think a Holocaust could happen again. I really don't. But like, it is disturbing to see this type of anti-Semitism just be like so freely expressed and so like embraced by people. Like, people are like, oh, well, it's true. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Well, what do you mean all the people that own the banks are Jewish? It's like, oh, like, yeah, okay. And all the people that were on 9/11 were Muslims, but you know, you can't say that because it's not true, you know?
I mean, I feel like there are so many people.
Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties with my mic. I can't keep it up. It's an allegory from my real life situation.
No, I think, you know, the problem is that it's easy for people that want to be able to point fingers at why their life isn't going the way they want it to. It's easy to find a scapegoat, and there's this whole like America first thing, you know, that we got to take care of our own. There's so much xenophobia, and you know, all of the immigration policies that some of these people on the far right are such hardlines about. You know, it's more than just about the Jews, but the Jews are an easy historical scapegoat to be able to point at.
You think that's what it is? Just like blame the Jews whenever anything goes wrong, like blame the Jews, you know, like the economy's bad, blame the Jews, you know, like
the
people
Jews
aren't buying my dumb shoes, blame the Jews.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sorry, Kanye's shoes are also just dumb. Have you seen them? They're like, what happened? Were you like, did you just buy like an electronic and you accidentally stepped on the styrofoam on the floor and you just decided to go with it?
I mean, I think, you know, the real thing we should be talking about is that when you get kicked off Twitter, the only place you can go is to the highway and put that shit over the highway on a.
I mean, that's crazy that there were people like putting like Nazi propaganda like over the highway, inspired by Kanye West, and people want to be like, oh my gosh, he's an artist, he's a musical genius, like whatever, like so no, shut up, like he's not. Like, this is crazy what he's doing for attention and rhetoric, and maybe he thinks in his mind he's trying to like expose some evil cabal, but he is not doing it in a productive or the right way at all, and definitely not like as a leader or an example to young people of like how you should like perform in the world as a person, as an expression of making it a better place. And I know he wants to hide behind all these things. It seems like he's like George Floyd, parents are suing him. There's so many other things, and it's just like, this is his new, he's like a shock a shock artist now. He's just trying to like shock everybody with what he's gonna do, and it's like,
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see that his agency dropped him, CA dropped him right away, and a whole bunch of his
I
other
mean, because they're all
sponsors.
Jews.
Yeah.
They're all Jews. Call me, by the way. My Uncle Jimmy wants to connect me with all the people that he knows, but I feel bad with nepotism. I'd rather be failing in our new free
I just
podcast
think
studio.
it's disappointing that it took Adidas so long to drop him as well. I mean, apparently that's his more than.
Yeah, but it was the holidays, so all the Jewish lawyers weren't working.
I guess that's true. They had to get all their ducks in a row before they could officially come out with a statement because of all the holidays. That's pretty funny.
Thanks. I'm glad you're enjoying the show as well as co-hosting it with me.
Yeah. What did you do for the Yam? Speaking of suffering,
I didn't. I was working.
You worked on the
I
Yam.
was working on Yam. Yeah.
How was that? My mom gives me a hard time when I've worked on the Yam.
I guess maybe that's the other day.
And
of
I have
atonement that you
bombed
had.
hardcore on Yom
Okay.
Kippur before.
Really?
Yeah, because there's no Jews in the audience.
Oh, that's why?
I got none of my people.
Jeez, that's horrible. You got to branch out. I'm sorry, Jordan. You need the Jews.
I mean, that was my fault also. That one year was in Staten Island, so there were not a lot of Jews to begin with.
I don't know. Not a lot of great shows in Staten Island for me personally.
I've performed.
Never like, I love Staten Island. Got to go perform there. They really embrace the Jews. There's a Staten Island Jewish community.
Yeah, I performed at a temple in Staten Island.
Oh, okay. Hey.
Yeah.
You take the ferry.
I did not. I drove.
Oh, wow. Okay. How Jewish of you.
Yeah.
I'm staying away from the water.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my friend gave me the pass that got me the half price toll.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you found a way to tie it all back.
Well, it was my Jewish
That's
friend
really
that booked the
good.
show.
Hey, so now it's the new year. You know, we just had all the Jewish holidays, the major holidays. I think what's the next one? Hanukkah is coming up.
Right,
Is that
Hanukkah's the next one. So we had Rosh Hashanah, we had Yom, and then what was we just had
Sukkot.
And Sukkot, right?
Sukkot. My friend loves Sukkot. She was telling me how excited she was about Sukkot, one of the, I guess, like the harvest holidays. Right?
Yeah.
And then we talked about this back in the day about how it was one of the times they would bring like what they got to the Holy Temple or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't eat in any sukkahs. I didn't do it. And I know I was busy. I didn't get any lulav etrog action. Did you? Sometimes the Chabad people, they get you.
Yeah, well, I mean, they tried to. I was.
They tried? You denied them.
I denied them.
Wow,
Yeah.
he's so far removed from the American Jew podcast that he denied them the
thanked-
lulav and etrog.
I thanked them for their concern, and I said, I wished them a happy Sukkot, but
Okay. Did you fast on Yom Kippur?
I did not. I don't fast.
Did you listen to the shofar?
I did listen to the shofar.
Oh, hey, so you went to temple.
I didn't. No, I don't go to temple, but we have a shofar at my parents' house, and
you have a guy come over and do it?
no, my mom blew the shofar.
Oh, I don't think that counts when your mom blows the shofar. Sorry. Like if we have a friend who's a rabbi, what do they call him? A gabbai or something that they sing? I don't know.
A cantor?
Okay, one of them too. Bring them all down. It'll be amazing.
I don't know.
Waving to the people outside.
I like to
Hey.
think that you can that anybody can blow the shofar as part of the process.
Okay, but did they do them? There's like the different sounds you're supposed to hear.
I know there's like
Like,
yeah. We did some of those.
Okay, good. Yeah, I think there's three. There's like the long one, then there's like three ones, and then there's that one, whatever. I don't know. Yeah, hey, cool. Happy holidays.
I thought it was a pretty good one.
Yeah, the good holidays. All right. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I guess I didn't really do anything crazy. I got some round challah.
Right, you love the round challah.
Hey, I went to this Jewish bakery on the Lower East Side that I love to go to. They got good stuff. I got some cupcakes there. I go there all the time. That's where I get my Hamantashen. So it's like one of the last Jewish delis. And Jewish bakeries, excuse me.
Yeah.
And it still has like an old lady that like works in back of it.
Nice.
I mean, I'm always at the Jewish delis, Katz's. I've been spending a lot of time in Midtown, so I recently was getting some pastrami from Sarge's.
Sarge's
Very
good deli, yeah.
And from, of course, Pastrami Queen is amazing.
Yeah, I haven't been to Pastrami Queen.
Pastrami Queen is fantastic.
I'm missing out.
Seriously, wow, we're gonna turn this into a food podcast.
I mean, I've been getting most of my pastrami and corned beef lately from Madison Square Garden, which is the last place you can get a Carnegie Deli sandwich.
Oh wow, okay. Are they good? Are they the same? Are they still huge?
They're pretty big.
Pretty big.
Yeah, I take half. I sometimes
That's
take.
what he puts on his Tinder profile.
Yeah, I take half of the sandwich home with me sometimes. They give me a piece of foil and I take it home.
Oh, hey, a little something for later.
Yeah.
A little something extra.
Could have pastrami and eggs for days, baby.
Oh, hey, there we go. All right, so Kanye, I guess he's just going to keep talking his hate. We're trying to spread more positivity, except if you're Kanye, then we're saying.
I am.
"Hell with you."
It is heartwarming to see the number of people and the number of communities that are condemning the things that he's saying. You know, I think we're at a point.
But why do you think it is when Jews do well, people are like, oh, they control the media, they control the banks, they control everything? It's like, oh, like, sorry for succeeding.
These are tropes that have been in place for so long that it's like just the sort of the fallback position. I think it's been ingrained in society to blame the Jews for that
So
stuff.
we're just coming back to that. It's just blame the Jews.
I mean,
huh?
so many people are
So we're always just going to be blamed for everything. So
I don't know. People are just so uninformed about stuff, and they hold on to their ignorance. You know, people don't even want to do the research to find out how wrong they are about stuff.
no, people don't like even get it. I made some videos about the Kanye thing, and people are like they think it has something to do with Palestine or something, and it's just like, this is crazy. Like, people are so uninformed, and like, yeah, like, you know, they do think that there are like these satanic people that are running the country that I guess they want to say are Jewish or lizard people. I don't know, whatever, you know,
Yeah.
depends what meds Marjorie Taylor Greene is on that week.
I mean, it doesn't help that you have our former president spouting anti-Semitic things, also telling the Jewish people that they better get behind him before it's too late.
Yeah, well, you know, we've never been a fan of him on the American Jew podcast.
No.
No. You know, so, I mean, how's your Jewishness going? Have you been feeling any, like, spiritualness, closeness to it?
I mean, I definitely felt very close to it when I was like watching that PBS documentary, the Ken Burns documentary on the Holocaust was.
How long is this thing?
It's three parts that are each, I think, a couple of hours. So it's like 4.5 hours long or
Jeez,
something.
Wow.
It's long, and it's
Next time I'm feeling depressed, I know what to watch.
it's fascinating, and it really draws you in. I mean, Ken Burns obviously a great documentary maker,
Right?
but
A lot of pans.
a lot of
slow
a
pans.
lot of slow pans. I mean, but
He
really,
has an effect. Not a lot of other artists have an effect like that, you know?
The-
That's what I want to get. I want to get, like, something in, like, iMovie that is, like, the Jonathan Randall effect.
yeah. You
It
think
is. I don't know what it does. It makes you go all crazy.
it makes it ups the volume, and it gets the YouTube taken down in 2 weeks because of hate
yeah,
speech.
the American Jew YouTube page was taken down.
Isn't that crazy?
I think that's pretty crazy.
We got taken down for hate speech when in fact it was love speech. It
Right?
was inclusive speech.
All I promote is for like a peaceful coexistence between Israel and Palestine. Like, that's what this podcast
And
is
apparently
about.
that's hate speech.
And I'm sorry for calling out Israel for the atrocities that they have committed against
Yeah.
the Palestinian people that are well documented, and like, it's just a fact of reality. Like, but
I know
anyways,
we're over here like we think that people in the Middle East should live in harmony together, and somebody was like, "How dare you?"
people are really like that, but it comes on both sides, you know. I know a lot of you know, I get a lot of in my comments of people being like, how could we ever have peace? But the truth is, things like this have happened throughout history, you know. The Native Americans, we have peace, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
black people, we have peace. Colonization has happened everywhere around the world, and people found a way to move forward and live together, you know.
Well,
and not be like, no, it's all or nothing. Like, I feel strongly about this, and this is a real problem that I feel and see on both sides of that issue.
of course, but there's also all this sort of propaganda on both sides. I mean, if you look at the Ukraine and Russia situation, the people.
By the way, go Ukraine, right? When it all happened, everyone was like, Russia's just gonna like kill Ukraine. It's gonna be nothing. And like, Ukraine is like kicking ass.
The number of people on the Russia side who are trying to vilify the Ukrainians as Nazis. That's what they're saying, is that like people are calling the Ukrainians Nazis.
Insane when people use Nazis.
Yeah, it really
They
is.
call like, the Nazis were Nazis. I guess it's just like there hasn't been a lot of people that have been like horrible like that, you know? So it's almost like a good thing that everything gets compared to the Nazis, but it's also a bad thing, because it's a good thing that there aren't like a bunch of like assholes, which there are actually throughout history.
Yeah.
The Nazis just really, they had good marketing.
Yeah, their marketing.
I think it's their fashion sense.
Long-lasting effects as well. I mean, I think it's dangerous when people start using that kind of rhetoric. I think it's if everything becomes related to the Holocaust or compared to the Holocaust, it starts to not everything is that extreme. I also just think it's dangerous for people to think that the Ukrainians standing up for themselves are fucking Nazis.
I mean, yeah, that is pretty crazy, right?
Yeah.
But they're doing a good job. They're not Nazis, the Ukrainians. The president was a comedian.
I mean,
How amazing is that?
in the analogy, really, it would be that the Russians are the Nazis and the Ukrainians are the Jews.
I mean, if you have to put it in that kind of context, like I guess we're saying like you really don't have to.
I don't think that you have to, or that you should. In fact, I think it's but if you're going to go there, that's the analogy that it is.
Right?
People are putting it the other way around, and it's not the case. And I think that, but I'm just saying, I think that when it comes to it muddies the water when you call people out that are not Nazis. You make it a lot more difficult for actual Nazis to be called out. And you make it more difficult for Jews who want to just be Jewish and be out there to come out and be Jewish and not have to worry about.
Wow, I don't think people are afraid to like come out. Like, are people afraid? Like, I am Jewish.
I mean, it probably depends on the part of the world that you're in. I don't know. I think that there are definitely people that downplay, still downplay their Judaism or their ethnic heritage just to create, to not create drama.
Wow. I mean, I've not experienced that. I guess like I'm pretty like proud to be a Jew, even though I get called like a self-hating Jew all the time. Like I'm like love being Jewish. I'm really happy about it. But I'm as Jewish as I'll show, But I'd want to share that,
Yeah.
Get some Hamantash and give them to everybody, non-Jews too. Let them know what's going on.
Let the Hamantashen out,
right?
baby.
That's Purim time, but I guess maybe latkes for everybody on Hanukkah.
I'm looking forward to the latkes on Hanukkah.
I had apples and honey on Rosh Hashanah. Did you have it?
I did.
It? Apples and honey.
Had the apples and honey.
Yeah,
and the challah. And my mom made the kugel.
Oh, hey, you got to get the kugel.
Noodle kugel. My cousin puts
sweet. The Jews like to make their kugel sweet.
Yeah, we make it really sweet. And my cousin
really sweet. Oh, we lost something. Oh, it's back.
My cousin added a graham cracker butter crumble to the top.
Oh, hey, whoa, move over.
Oh my God,
was Bobby Flay there? What's happening?
It was next level.
Oh shit, sounds really good.
Yeah, it's delish. I'm looking forward to Hanukkah. My family doesn't do a big Hanukkah party any year because my family's kind of splintered. We do a cousins only.
Cousins
Hanukkah
only.
party.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hey, you're getting together any way you can, right?
Yeah, we're doing it.
That's good.
We're gonna do a mystery Maccabee.
Oh wow! Tell us more.
It's sort of like the Jewish version of Secret Santa.
Okay, so everybody gets someone a gift. What are you gonna get somebody?
I don't know. I have to figure it out. I think it's normally been like a $20 cap on the value. So we'll see what I buy. Sometimes it's wine or food.
All right, nice.
I think last year I bought
Mystery Maccabee. I don't have any plans for Hanukkah. When is it? We don't even know. What horrible Jews.
It starts December 17th, I think.
Oh, wow, you do know. Oh, so it's in a while.
I only know because it's the day after I go to Utah to go skiing.
Okay, look, he's already got ski plans.
I do.
This is why people hate the Jews. Because of Jordon's ski plans that he has months in advance. Yeah, I guess the next Jewish holiday, it's not a Jewish holiday, it's Thanksgiving.
The next
Jews do like Thanksgiving. We just like any holiday that involves food, of course.
It's all about the meal, for sure.
Yeah.
My mom.
Hopefully Kanye will get stuffed this Thanksgiving. Boom! Hey, I still haven't forgotten how much I think you're a douche.
Yeah, I think my mom's doing Thanksgiving this year, so I'll let you know.
Oh wow, thanks. Very nice of you to say.
What else? What else is coming up? We got.
What do you got coming up? You got any girls you rocking? Any Jewish women have you met?
I have not met any Jewish women lately. All the women I've been meeting
Why
are
are you
shitses.
just so intent on assimilating?
It's not that I'm intent on assimilating.
Do you think you should look more for Jewish girls?
I probably I probably should. I went to a Jewish speed dating event.
I mean, how are you not bringing this up?
Why
do I have to pull this out of you, Jordan? This is the good stuff. Jordan's like struggling for things to say, and he just went to a Jewish speed dating. When was this?
I went to a Jewish speed dating event a couple months ago, and
All
it
right.
was
Hey, by yourself?
Yes.
How did you find out about this thing?
Well, so my friend Craig Greenberg.
Okay, yeah, musician, good guy,
friend of the show, wrote our outro music for the show.
Hey.
Yeah, he wrote the outro music for the podcast. He has a friend that runs this speed dating service, and he had signed up for it but couldn't go, so I took his place. So
Oh, wow. You were like a pitch hitter.
yeah,
They pulled you in from the bench. Someone's got to use a speed dating ticket. That's how Jewish it is. It couldn't go to waste.
right. So
You got to come and do it.
So it was free for me to do it. I went and did it, and it was fine. Whatever. I didn't really meet
How
anybody.
many girls did you talk to?
I think there were 8 mini dates.
Ooh, 8.
Yeah.
And none, you don't like any.
I didn't particularly feel like I had a connection with any of them. I got an email the following day
Ooh.
from the company
Hey.
saying, it has come to our attention that several people that you went on dates with said that you appeared to be older than you represented.
Whoa!
What?
Holy shit! How old did you say you were?
I'm 44. That's what I said. Listen.
And they thought you looked older.
I said, I wrote back to the guy. I'm like, who would even say such a thing? Who would say that?
Wow.
First
he
of
looked
all,
older.
who would say such a thing? And second of all, look at
Jews. That's who would say
look
such
at,
a thing.
I don't know. He's like,
wow. Ouch.
they were like,
No wonder you didn't want to talk about it, Jordan. It sounds like this was a scarring event.
They were like, send us a picture of your driver's license so we can rectify the situation. I'm like, no, thanks. I'm good. I'm not.
Wow.
Probably-
Prove how old you are. Throw your Vax card in for the hell of it.
Probably not even coming back to the service, so I'm not going to worry about it. The guy was like, well, listen, I said it was a sensitive matter. I'm like, yeah, it's a sensitive matter. Who would even say so?
Wow.
Who would say such a thing?
How old did they think you were?
I have no idea.
Okay, how old are you really?
All
now
I'm-
I feel like I've been lied to.
I'm
Our
44.
whole
My
relationship.
guess is that they thought I was maybe older because my profile picture wasn't from a bald eye view. Didn't show off my hairline.
That's what you're blaming on the baldness.
I mean, that's what I'm going to blame it on. Yeah.
Were they sitting in back of you on this speed dating thing?
I don't know where. I don't. Listen, it's so crazy to me that somebody would say such a thing. It's like, what? Why would you say that? Who would? It's not like I even said anything to reject these women. I didn't say anything bad about.
Were you talking about World War II Ken Burns documentaries the whole time? Maybe that's why. They're like, how old is this guy? He won't shut up about PBS.
It could be. It's my fault. I was rocking the tote bag and.
Oh my gosh, not a tote bag.
I was listening. I was trying to find listeners just like her. But
okay, all right. So did you find some? We gotta go hard now. Got American Jews back. What a good segue, Jordan.
Thank you.
To getting new listeners and just like promoting the fuck out of this shit.
We're going to do it.
2 curse words, 1 sentence. I'm not messing around. That's how harsh I'm getting when I put both fuck and shit together in between only like 7 other words.
Perfect. I'm so glad that we got back together to do this. I think it's important that we talk about some of this Jewish stuff. I think, talking about, I think that one of the things that drew us to talk about this stuff in the first place, to start this podcast in the first place, was that for me anyway, I don't know if you feel the same way, but I feel like...
Yeah, stop telling me how I feel.
For me, talking about a lot of this stuff, it is always so like serious and heavy, and I feel like there needs to be a little bit more of a conversation happening, that it's not about being talked at about the dangers of this. I feel like we need to have more conversations where we bring more people to the table to talk about what it means to be Jewish and what it means to be a human being on part of this planet, where we have to share the space with people that don't always believe the same stuff. So
absolutely, I couldn't agree more, and I'm happy to be representing, because I do feel like I am an American Jew. It is part of my identity. It's part of my culture. It's part of who I am as a human being. And even though I might not believe with a lot of the ideology, I still want to be a good representation and a positive force in the world. So I'm happy. I feel like I am an American Jew. I think this is a cool project. I always did. I hope now we'll have even more success when we're relaunching it right now. We want to thank everyone who did always listen, and it's going to be even better. Awesome. Thanks for the studio.
I know
that is really cool.
It feels
P&T Knitwear. I'm reluctant to tell people where we are because I don't want them to come and use this amazing studio. But there's a lot more. Sorry to talk about, and I know that we want to talk about, and of course I've been continually making videos, especially about relations between Palestinians and Israel and the perception of Jews across the world. And I hope that we can continue to do that on this podcast.
Yeah, me too. I'm so grateful to the studio for letting us come down to the Lower East Side and feel even extra Jewy coming down here. It does. I feel like we got to go get a pastrami and an egg cream after this.
I mean, don't tempt me. It does sound good. If I didn't have another I'm going to record another podcast.
All right.
Going to do Gootz's podcast.
Nice.
And talk about the movie The Predator. Not a lot of Jews in that movie. And The Predator didn't attack Jews or single them out, which is kind of weird to say that The Predator is better than Kanye. All right? Kanye is more of a foe to the Jews than the Predators, a whole alien race, by the way. But anyways, in the meantime, I'm at Jonathan Randall across all social media. The American Jew pod, they're all still active too.
Yeah, you can follow us on Instagram and on Twitter at American Jew Pod. And you can follow me at Jordon Ferber, at Beatnik Nudnik on Instagram. And you can also follow my other podcast, Where's the Grief, which is at Where's the Grief across all platforms. And I thank you guys for listening. This has been so great to be back. And Jonathan, it's nice to see you in person. I love this. L'chaim.